welcome, guys, to the broadcast. For those of you who are coming through for the first time, you're more than welcome. For those of you who keep coming, keep doing what you're doing. I love it. Guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this content. You can put on your notification bell so that you're notified each time I post a new video. Guys, I want to talk about the interview by Mac G with Julius Malena. There are a lot of things, interesting things that were said there. There were a lot of pearls of wisdom. There were a lot of things that were dropped that we could all learn from. And obviously, there's always some political statements that will be said for whatever agenda. Everybody, guys, is pushing their own thing. We don't know how sincere they are. But the truth always remains the truth. If somebody is speaking the truth, doesn't matter what their agenda is. You just take the truth and leave the rest. So what I want to talk about is something that Julius Malena said. He said something about, remember, when you're an artist, young artist, you are loved, you are celebrated. But when you're old, they call you a legend so that they don't have to pay you. But when you're a politician, when you are young, you are hated. And when you get old, you are celebrated.
Remember, when you are an artist, you are loved when you are young. And when you are old, you are called a legend so that they don't book you anymore. And unlike politicians,
yes.
Politicians, you are hated when you are young, and you are loved when you are old. I mean, the ANC just appointed a 76-year-old man to be a chairperson of a lottery board.
And this is very interesting, right? Because these are two interesting career paths. When you are young as an artist, they want you when you are young. But when you're old, they don't really want you. And what does that usually come with? It comes with a lot of looks, you look young, you look funky, but you're not wise enough to make good business decisions. Where you are the strongest, where you need mentors. In fact, he did even say that young people, they are energetic, they are doers, they want to do things. He was mentioning this when he was talking about there's people who have a problem with youth. They'll say the youth will do this and this and this and this. But it's always been like that. Everybody seems to have a problem. Even now, there's a big craze about AMA 2000, like they're the worst generation ever. It's always been like that. It always happens like that. The generation before will always criticize the younger generation. And when you check, they all rebelled. All young people rebel, and this is what he was driving. You know why? Because they are fresh, they are strong, they can do things, they've got ideas, but most of the time, it's zeal without wisdom. So young people desperately, when they are still full of vigor, fire, they desperately need mentorship, good mentorship. But when you become older, you don't have strength to do things, to move things, to shake things, to break new grounds like you can when you're a young person. But now you want to settle down, you're a politician, you just want to be secure, and they want to put you there. And to me, this made me think about the structures that run the world. Guys, the structures that run the world, they need money in order to do so. It is a big business machine. The politics are part of that. The politics are influenced by people who have financial power, who run businesses. The industry, the music industry, all the influential industries. And guys, make no mistakes, all the industries are influential. If you go to pharmaceutical industry, it's influential. If you go to media industry, it's influential. If you go to religion, it's influential. And there are key people in charge of this in order for them to keep running things, for them to stay on top, to stay powerful. And let me tell you about the music industry. Let's come back to the music industry. It wants you when you are young, when you are fresh. But the older you grow, it rejects you. Tell me now, when you are young, the only thing that you can do is influence things, break through. But you don't have the wisdom to run it. Hence, you'll find a lot of musicians. They come in, they're hot, and they're gone tomorrow. Not necessarily because they've lost their relevance, But those who control media, those who control TV, those who control radio, those who control the distribution labels, they are the ones who say, we allow you from this time to this time. And they make us believe that an artist can only be relevant from a certain age to a certain age. And that is a big lie. Because if they perpetuate that lie, they don't even perpetuate it. They just end your career. They don't stop promoting you. Guys, this has got nothing to do with talent. This has got everything to do with those influential people. It's got nothing to do with talent. Because I know most of you have heard like a bad song once and like you thought the song was bad. But they played over and over and over and over again everywhere. You see it everywhere on TV. You see it everywhere on radio. You see it everywhere. And you start acquiring the taste. You start appreciating the taste. They force it on you up until you love it. Or let me say love it because maybe at times you don't necessarily love it. But you get used to it. It doesn't become the noise that it was the first time you heard it. They acclimatize you to noise that you get used to noise. But it's not a good song. But they just played it over and over again because it's up to those who are influential to promote whatever they want to promote. This is why there's a big battle over media. Everybody wants that piece of cake because that's why you have influence. That's why you're finding a lot of podcasts now. That's why you're finding celebrities who are starting podcasts because everybody is greedy for the media space. Everybody wanted radio, but radio is controlled by certain people. And to access it, you have to have money. You have to have bribes. You have to do all sorts of things to access radio. But this is not true that art can only last for when you are young. Because music is supposed to heal, right? Make you feel good, make you dance, but also educate. What can you educate if you're young and you don't know anything? Let's talk about some of the biggest legends of music. Most of them have got one quality in common, a level of consciousness, thought-provoking lyrics. Let me mention them. Tupac, they don't last. If the industry cannot stop them being who they are, somehow they mysteriously die. Think about that for a second. My channel is not a conspiracy theory channel, but it's a fact, guys. What happened to Tupac? Nobody knows what happened to Tupac. What happened to Biggie? Nobody knows what happened to Biggie. What happened to Bob Marley, Marvin Gaye, Lauryn Hill, India Arie? And it seems like it's worse on black conscious women. Let me tell you a story about India Arie. India Arie was nominated for 7 Grammys. She didn't even win one. I mean, I could be reading a lot, and it was said by so many sources. None of them we can say it's confirmed because everybody's allowed to make their own conclusion. 7 Grammys, wins none. And the woman is broken. They breaking her. And check her message. Her message was brown skin, celebrating being black, and teaching black women to celebrate themselves. And her lyrics like, I'm not your average girl from the radio. My worth is not determined by the price of my clothes. Those were the lyrics.
At the time, I came in thinking thinking the sky's the limit and I can do whatever is put on my heart to do because it's put on my heart to do. But then I had this experience at the Grammys. The first year I went to the Grammys, I was nominated for 7, and it was really out of the blue because I hadn't sold that. I had sold maybe 800,000 albums, and I got nominated for 7 Grammys.
Whoa.
And so the show came, and I lost all of it.
Let's talk about Lauryn Hill, who was so attacked by media. One of the best hip-hop artists ever. Forget that she's a female. And this is the thing, guys. We always like to make a comparison, a male-dominated industry. What is it like operating in the male-dominated industry as a female? But when you're talented, the industry doesn't care, doesn't give a damn. Nobody cared that Lauryn Hill was a female. She was just a dope artist, period. And everybody celebrated it, both men and female. She broke so many records, so many Grammys. But at some point, the media came after her. She's another one who was teaching black women to put up a value on themselves. Not to just be used by men, not to look at all material things, but teaching them how to love themselves and teaching them real independence, knowledge, and educating. She was educating through music. What happened to her? The industry shut her out and attacked her. There's so many articles written about her, making fun of her. Who controls that media? These were influential figures with albums that are timeless, music that is timeless. And you tell me that you have to run as from a certain time, and you have to be shallow, you have to take off your clothes. Is that the only thing? And then I'm saying that we cannot use our talents. If your talent is being beautiful, it's there for you. It's there to work for you. But you take talent and use it for positive influence, life-changing influence. Because when you are young and you are not fed information, what's going to happen? Your run is going to be short in the music industry. And this is what they're programming young people, because they don't want young people who are conscious in the music industry. If you stay long, you get experience. Let's make, for example, that a woman, I'm not going to call names, a woman who's come in and is fresh because she's sexy, or a guy who's come in, he's fresh because he's got a six-pack or whatever. He comes in, he's hot property, but he doesn't know anything. He sounds good, he sings good, he dances good, whatever it is that is attracting people to that person. That person will run for a certain time, and after a while, the music industries recycle them. They find another one. Why? Because if you keep them fresh, you can replace them. It's like working for KFC, working for these big companies, working for Pick and Pay. They can replace a teller easily. Somebody who's working at the teller, they can replace you easily. And they don't want people who have, too many people who have meaningful differences. That's why they don't equip you. That's why they don't educate people. They'll educate those they can control. But if they can educate everybody, they lose their power. So if in the music industry, you are making good music, they exploit you when you are young, because if you grow beyond a certain point, you are bound to get experience. You're bound to learn things about the industry. You are bound to want to change things, but you cannot stay influential if you like that, because what you're going to do, you're going to take their bread away. You know, guys, only now that the internet has allowed people spaces to express themselves. But in the past, there were only four major distribution labels: Sony, Gallo, Universal, I forgot the other one. But there were only four, guys. That billion-dollar industry, it was controlled by only four people who were calling all the shots, manipulating everything, where your music goes, music videos, how it's played, when it's played. And those people could only literally shut you up if they wanted to. That is too much power in the hands of the few. And this is what the concern is now, even with YouTube. People now have got this platform to talk and say so many things on YouTube. But people are scared that at some point, it's also going to be regulated. At some point, it's also going to be regulated, because we cannot afford to have too many people saying too many things, because only a few are supposed to know the truth. Those who want to control the business. And now, the politicians, when you are no longer effective, they want to make you a politician. When you no longer have strength and fresh ideas, they want to make you a politician. Because why? Because they want to use you, even on that side, to influence wrong decisions. They don't want independent. Young people are independent. The sign of a young person is independence. They want independence. They rebel against the system, the status quo. So no old person is interested in that. An old person just wants to look after their family and be comfortable at home. They're not going to want to disturb the peace too much. That's just something I thought about. I thought I should share this with you guys. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.